picture this. It's 1834, and you stand in the darkened chamber of the Spanish royal palace, your breath caught in your throat as you face the grotesque figure of King Ferdinand VII. The air is thick with the stench of decay, the dampness of the room hanging over everything. The king's body lies before you, swollen and misshapen beyond recognition. The once proud monarch, who ruled with an iron fist, now presents the most undignified of endings. The physician, grim-faced and silent, begins his grim task. The smell of chemicals fills the room as he begins to embalm the king's body, each motion deliberate and cold. The king's body has become a grotesque relic of a bygone era, his once regal frame now a testament to his tragic curse, one that began long before death claimed him. The room is eerily quiet, the only sound being the faint drip of embalming fluid. Outside, the kingdom continues its descent into chaos. The streets of Madrid remain divided, torn by political unrest and the disillusionment of a people suffering under a monarch who could not escape his own demons. The king, now nothing more than a broken corpse, serves as a grotesque metaphor for the fall of a once great empire. Ferdinand's end stands in stark contrast to the powerful figure he once was. In a way, his death echoes a lesson for today, where even the most powerful figures can be brought low by the very forces they seek to control. A king, once revered, now lies as a crumbling shadow of his former self, a reminder of how fleeting power can be. Born on October 14, 1784, Ferdinand VII was the child of the Spanish Habsburg-Bourbon dynasty, a family defined by its history of royal inbreeding. His father, Charles IV, and his mother, Maria Luisa of Parma, were cousins. This web of inbreeding had long been a hallmark of European royal houses, but for Ferdinand, it was a curse that would take form in his very body. From the start, Ferdinand's life was marked by tragedy. He was a sickly child, often beset by illnesses, a symptom of his weakened genetic inheritance. His deformities were subtle at first, mere signs of weakness that no one could have predicted would become so extreme. Yet as he grew, so did the grotesque manifestation of his bloodline sins. Ferdinand's deformity was not limited to his physical appearance, it also took root in his mind. His health deteriorated rapidly as he aged. His hands became twisted, his face bloated, and his spine curved painfully. Yet even more tragic was the way these physical deformities affected his reign. A ruler known for his obsession with strength and virility, Ferdinand's very existence was now a tragic parody of the royal image. His deformities were not just an inconvenience, they became a symbol of the cursed legacy that had plagued Spain for generations. Ferdinand's rule, like his body, began to rot from the inside out, as the nation, too, was burdened by the weight of royal history and corruption. In his youth, Ferdinand's deformities were not well known to the public. His body, hidden behind royal robes and cloaks, was something few saw. However, as he ascended to the throne in 1808 after the forced abdication of his father, Charles IV, his physical ailments could no longer be ignored. By then, Ferdinand's body had become a grotesque reflection of the chaos within his own soul. Ferdinand's reign, starting under such a dark shadow, was marked by his obsession with securing his legacy. His marriages became tragic affairs, each one more ill-fated than the last. The first marriage to Maria Antonia of Naples was a political move, an attempt to strengthen the Spanish line, but Ferdinand's obsession with his own deformities led to a loveless union. His focus on his physical flaws, particularly his inability to produce a healthy heir, overshadowed everything else. His second marriage to Maria Cristina of the Two Sicilies was similarly tainted by his insecurities. Ferdinand's deformity became a matter of state, with his inability to produce a male heir seen as a personal failing, one that haunted both him and the future of Spain. His deformity became a subject of mockery, yet he was unable to escape its grip. He would often reflect on his body, seeing it as a divine punishment, or a mark of his royal destiny. His struggle to maintain control, both over his kingdom and his body, was an ongoing battle. The man who ruled with the iron fist of tyranny was now a broken figure, both physically and mentally, trapped in a body that betrayed him at every turn. It is a tragic irony that Ferdinand's greatest battle was not with his enemies or his political rivals, but with the very body that had once symbolized his royal lineage. Ferdinand's obsession with his deformity and the desire for an heir consumed him to the point of madness. As Spain's political situation grew more dire, his health deteriorated further. His delusions grew stronger. He began to see his body not as a weakness, but as a divine test, something that marked him as a king chosen by fate. The cultural backdrop of Spain, too, was beginning to reflect the king's disintegration. Spain was suffering from internal strife and political unrest. The Spanish people were disillusioned by the monarchy, and Ferdinand's inability to address the nation's suffering left a vacuum of leadership. Like Ferdinand's body, the empire itself was slowly disintegrating. The king's reign, marked by his paranoia and obsession, mirrored the state of the nation. Spain's economy faltered, its political system became increasingly unstable, and the kingdom's once proud military was now in disarray. Ferdinand's personal delusions fueled the monarchy's collapse. Just as he could not control his body, he could not control the forces that were ripping his kingdom apart. The cultural implications of Ferdinand's rule are a stark reminder of the dangers of absolute power. The king, who once believed himself infallible, became a shadow of the man he once was, consumed by his own personal demons and the decaying empire he led. Ferdinand VI's reign is a tragic example of how a ruler's personal insecurities can destroy a kingdom. His obsession with his deformities not only destroyed his relationships, but also led to the collapse of his empire. The decay of his body mirrored the decay of Spain itself, both unraveling in parallel. The king's inability to produce a healthy heir marked the end of his bloodline's dominance in Spain. His legacy was one of failure and suffering. Ferdinand's rule had brought nothing but ruin to his people, and his death, though mourned by some, was seen as a release. His passing was not just the end of a life but the symbolic end of a dying empire. What we can learn from Ferdinand's story is the importance of humility and the dangers of vanity. A king's power, no matter how absolute, cannot shield him from the basic forces of nature. The decay of Ferdinand's body serves as a powerful reminder that nothing, no title, no lineage, no wealth, can protect against the inevitable march of time and the frailties of human existence. Ferdinand's death in 1833 marked the end of an era. But his deformity, preserved for posterity, continued to haunt those who would come after him. His physical body, once a symbol of royal might, now served as a grotesque reminder of the king's madness. In many ways, Ferdinand's story echoes the fate of other rulers throughout history who were undone by their obsessions. Like the Roman emperors who believed themselves to be gods, or the kings and queens who sought immortality through bloodlines, Ferdinand's inability to accept the imperfections of life led him to destroy both himself and the empire he was meant to protect. The curse of vanity and obsession is not unique to Ferdinand alone, but has plagued many throughout history. His deformity stands as a stark comparison to other monarchs whose personal failings led to the fall of entire kingdoms. Spain, after Ferdinand's death, would never fully recover. His curse, embodied in his twisted form, lingered in the country's political and cultural psyche for years to come. His legacy, though officially erased from history, continued to influence the country's decline. Ferdinand's story, one of deformity, obsession, and failure, remains an echo of the past, a grim reminder of the price of unchecked power. Like the ruins of past empires, his story endures, not only as a tale of one king's fall, but as a warning to all who would seek to control their own fate through power.